stream. So give me just a moment while we figure this out. Stream. So yes, sir. We're on. Okay, give me a moment. Speaker, let me talk. Let me be the speaker. Let me be here. And so a very warm welcome. And let me see if you're on YouTube. Yep, we seem to be okay. So thank you for being here and a very warm welcome to all of you in this session. Today's topic is commitment. Commitment. So we'll talk about this topic, and just as we do sometimes, we pick up words and we explore those words and what they mean to us from all sides. And so here is today's topic, commitment. So I would invite all of you, as I keep talking and all of that, to put your comments on what you think, where commitment for you, stands and what it means for you, and what all energies, well, that's what we're going to be talking about, what all energies stand behind this word commitment. So commitment, a huge, hugely heavy word and very, very, out there. Matlab, yes, I am a committed person. I'm a committed person, matlab I'm a loyal person. I don't do that which is wrong. I do what I say. Mere to pran jaye, par vachan na jaye. That kind of commitment, तो अभी तो राम तो पीछे रह गया. राम से ज्यादा तो अपुन है कि प्राण जाए पर वचन न जाए, and all of that. So that is all where we come for the place, or rather from the place of commitment. And this all holds very high value in our eyes. Yeah. Because somebody who is, let us say, even in a relationship, if they are not committed to a relationship, when we see somebody moving from one relationship to another, most of the times, well, those who haven't done EM, let us suppose that you haven't done EM, then most of the times, how would you treat that person as, what would their reputation be if they were not committed in a relationship? If they were just moving from one place to another and all of that, and you'd look at them and say all kinds of things about their character, right? So that is how we normally, that is how high a value we give to this word called commitment. And then from there, we start to operate. We start to operate from that place that we look for a commitment in every place. We want security. We do not want change. We do not want upar niche. We do not want. We simply want that everything should be reliable. We should be able to trust you. I should be able to trust you. Are, what is this? You said something yesterday. Today you are saying something different. I cannot trust you. I'll just put in a kind little word out there. If you cannot trust someone, it's not about them at all. Now, this you would know that it is your frequency of mistrust which is making you mistrust them, and therefore getting such people, such unreliable people in your area, in your environment. Why? Because your mistrust has come to play. But in any case, going back to the word commitment, so every single place when we talk about, goals, we should be committed to our goals. Then we meet with a person, then we should be committed to that person. We look for security everywhere. When we get a job, this was always the thing, right? To get to be committed to your job and to die from that job. In the parents' generation, they were like, we joined there and then that is it. We retired from there. You find so many people saying that from that generation, where commitment had even more value than it has today. And then as you move forward in the generations forward, have you noticed that the commitment is actually getting lesser and lesser? I notice it from my time as well. When I joined the banking world, and then, I was with one particular bank for 5 or 6 years. In those days, if you had put in 3 years in a place, you were likely to be committed. Okay, at least they cannot be called, sleeping around at the job. They will not be moving jobs every time. They are very responsible. And so they can be trusted with something or the other. And so when you moved before, your resume would show that you've moved every place within 1 year, within 2 years. Oh my God, there used to be big questions on the resume like, but why did you move? You didn't even complete 2 years. Why did you move? Today, the same thing holds, except for about 3 months or 6 months. If you've moved every 3, 6 months, then people question. But if you move after 6 months, it's okay. That's the trend. So that commitment word has lost a little bit of its sheen, a little bit of its value. And as we go along, when we recognize that, okay, even in a marriage, we are looking for full commitment. But have you seen that the commitment is because there is a piece of paper? Do you stick around in a marriage because there's a piece of paper? We'll talk about the guilt part a little bit. But even while you're in a marriage, is the commitment playing a role that you will be happy because you are more committed to the marriage? Or is it the equation between the two of you that decides whether you are going to be committed or not going to be committed? It is always the equation. It has nothing to do with the piece of paper. The piece of paper, if anything, is a big weight on your shoulders because you can't walk out of some place which is not giving you happiness. You're still like, no, no, no. What will the society say? I have to show my commitment to this marriage. I have to stay in this place. I have to be here. I cannot walk out. Why? Because I am committed. The only thing that you might be committed to at some point in time is a mental asylum then, but still, that's the only thing that we think about when in a place we are not having a good time. We are, the finger is, of course, in all of this that I'm speaking right now, the finger is outside. So right now I'm just setting the stage because as normal life is lived, how much value we give to the word called commitment. As a normal life is lived, how many places in a job we seek commitment. In a relationship, we seek commitment. When we want to stay in a house, oh my God, that house itself, we seek commitment. No, no, we have to commit to this house. Now I will pay installments for this house from now until 10 years. I'm committed to this house. I want to only be in this house and no place else. In every small thing, we are looking for stability and trying to secure things, trying to get some control on the ever moving, ever changing world. And so, as we try to get control through this, what do we have to do? We have to be committed. How can somebody else be committed if we ourselves are not committed? And with that thread, we keep going into relationships with not just people, with houses, with jobs. We keep going into these relationships with the idea of commitment in mind. Now, if this commitment is looking good, you are happy to be in that place, the other person is also happy to be in this place, then there is no problem, whether at job, whether with your boss, whether with a home. You buy a home today, you committed to it, and tomorrow it turns out that the home is infested with 28 things. Now you are really regretting your commitment to this home. And so, if there is termite in the house and you're like, oh my God, I didn't know, and now I regret committing to this house. And the same goes for every relationship. If there is termite that it is eating into that relationship, then you regret getting into the relationship as well. You regret that commitment. So now we come into the various energy plays of commitment and where all, we see it. So when the commitment is from your side, and it is being reciprocated, or at least you're getting rewards for being in that commitment, then you feel the joy. Then you feel the, chalo, acha kiya, this is the fellow that I found. Now I'm committed to this fellow. The fellow is a lovely person. I'm enjoying this, I'm enjoying his company. I'm enjoying the love that we are creating. Fabulous. That is the place where commitment is working out. On the opposite flip side of it, oh, well, you committed to something, now there's termite in there, now you will regret. Now you're sitting in the frequency of regret. Why did I have to get into this? There were a dozen houses or relationships or boyfriends or whatever it is, on the cards. And why did I have to choose this infested thing, the house or the relationship or the person or the office? Now you start to sit in the frequency of regret. And yet, when you want to make a shift, the eye is constantly looking outwards at your reputation. A reputation. And we've already just last week, when we talked about the reputation, we came to, well, I was kind of shown, and I simply forwarded that piece of knowledge, knowing to you how there is nothing called reputation. No such thing as reputation. It is a figment of our imagination. But if we tie ourselves to a reputation, then we go through all of these experiences of feeling sad, feeling blame, feeling shame, all of the stuff. But if you have already understood that a reputation actually has this job, the job of the word reputation, the job of the word itself is simply so that the minute you think of it, now you've got a ton of bricks on your head, because you've got to act this way, you've got to behave this way, you've got to do what is right by the persons, you've got to do what is right by the society, you've got to do what is right by the country, and there increases the weight on your shoulders. So now when we understand this part towards commitment, you're committed to your country, you're committed to the society that you're living in, you're committed to your partner, you're committed to your job. And when all of it is not working out on the outside, and you're looking at that, then to even move anything towards more joy, it would take for you to play through a lot of guilt, and then to be able to recognize that guilt. That I'm sitting in guilt. I'm not doing this stuff from the place of love. I am doing this from the place of guilt. And so to be able to recognize that it is the guilt at play, and when guilt is at play, what will happen? Simple. More and more guilt will come to play. That is all there is. So the more you try to be in a place, you try to stick to an outside to keep it stable. I need to keep my marriage stable. This is my responsibility. I got into this. When you sit with this thought, and this thought is not coming from love, but it is coming from guilt, then more and more guilt is going to be created. More guilt in a marriage where you don't want to be there. It was hilarious when earlier the only people's advice used to be, oh, you're not getting along with each other in the marriage. Oh, have a baby. Have a baby. As if the baby is going to change the thing, the emotions that you feel about the marriage. No, you are simply acting one more actor into the mix. And as you add this one more actor to the mix, now you see what is increasing. Is the love increasing, or is the guilt increasing? Because here you are thinking now you're responsible for more people, the weight of the world on your shoulders. And now, and especially when kids come out and then they're so cute, and you don't look at them as actors, you simply look at them as something that you have to protect, you have to possess, you have to take care of. Then they're going to add a lot of guilt to that mix when you want to look at the word commitment and not live by it. Not live by it. Then all of this is going to come from guilt and not from love. This is all when we are looking outside. When we look at it from the energy perspective of the self, what all are we committed to? What all have we committed ourselves to? Oh, we've committed ourselves to 10 different things of self-development. All of this, all of you coming over here also is part of that commitment only. You and I are committed over here. I have to come over here only because money says so. But all of you, oh, Meenal, Friday, Saturday, whatever that, now you are committed to being here on a Saturday. What will happen if you don't come here for a dozen Saturdays? What will happen? What will you feel when you don't come here for a dozen Saturdays? I can tell you, when I don't come here for 2 or 3 Saturdays, I start to receive many people's requests saying, why are you not doing the webinar? Where are you? I'm missing the webinar so much. I don't know what to do on Saturdays. Oh my God, this has become part of me. I'm feeling so lonely and so lost without these Saturday webinars of yours. So look at all of that. This commitment that you made, it was just a friendly commitment. You come, I come. If you can come, come. If you can't come, you don't come. And that's all that is. But then you took that commitment so much more seriously. And this is not just here, this is every place. When you take your friendships so seriously. When, oh, I've heard this so many times, so many people come to me and say, my father, this was his last, wish, that this house should be made or kept or stay with us for the generations to come. And I asked them, do you want this house? No, no, it's so much of work. I have to do this. I have no time for this. I have to, but this is my father's wish. But this is my father's wish. And so I have committed. Now look at the weight that you're carrying on your shoulders from that wish. And I actually tell people, that whatever you are thinking is your father's wish, please understand, your father is simply an actor. And whatever frequency you were playing in, he spoke that dialogue and off he went into the energy space, leaving you with that frequency and guilt and judgment of the self that, I can't do the one thing that father asked me to do. So how much shame that you carry, how much guilt that you carry, how much judgment of the self that you carry for not being able to do that. And so as we move along on this space, as we even begin to understand that this word commitment that we give, when people come to me with, my father has this choice and so I'm out there fulfilling it, I simply stop them and I say, your father was in the body, he was playing as an actor to you. Till the time he's in the body, he's playing an actor to you. But now that he's in the energy, and now that you have been following me for so long, please understand and ask him today. In the energy, you ask him today what he wants to do with that house. And 99.999999999, the answer will come to, I don't care. You can do whatever you want. You are free to do as you please. Why? Because in the energy, that person 99.9% of the time is no longer tied to being your mirror. Being your mirror means they have to reflect your frequencies back at you. So if your frequencies are holding guilt and judgment, they will say something or the other that will leave you in guilt and judgment, and off they go. They pack their bags, they've done their job, their life is over, they are gone. But no, not you. You still have to live by what they said. And what will that create in you? Firstly, it will create so much of angst when you are not able to do that which they want you to do. You're not able to do that. You're not a good child. You're not a good son. You're not a good daughter. And now you start to judge yourself from the place of no self-love. No self-love, because who is judging you right now? You are judging yourself through the eyes of that parent. You are judging yourself through the eyes of some parent and wanting to uphold this idea of your commitment to being a good son or a good daughter. This is your imaginary idea of being a good son or a good daughter. So many people, again, will come to me and say, I tried to be such a good daughter. I tried to be such a good son. But my father, he just doesn't appreciate me. You can die trying to be a good son, good daughter, or whatever. But he won't appreciate you only because your energy does not have self-love. So you are trying to get validations from this person and that person, and father, mother, whatever, are simply becoming actors for you. They have no place in, appreciating you if your energy hasn't given them that role. You'll be like, oh, samne wala uncle is appreciating me so much, but not my own dad. Yeah, because you gave that role to your father and you gave that funny role to the samne wala uncle. So he will appreciate you. When you do nothing also, he will appreciate you. That's because you have handed that role to that person. Sorry, does Jayati, you have a question? Yeah, okay. Ask.
So when did I give that role? You said you gave that role to your father or to this person or that person. When did I give it? Was it a conscious choice or was it in my unawareness?
Who gives? Here is the fun part. You gave the role, but who is the you? You is not your body.
Hmm.
You are not the body. You are saying, okay, I didn't, when did I give? When I was born, did I give this role? It's
Ah.
your energy. If your energy today doesn't hold self-love, somebody or the other is going to show it to you, not that you don't hold self-love.
Hmm.
If you are not holding that love for yourself, then to the father, tomorrow to the father and the mother, then third day to the wife as well, then you will keep distributing this role. It is a dynamic state. It is not, when I talk to you about you gave the role, please understand, at least this is where we start every topic from, which is the very first understanding. Body is 1%, energy is 99%. So when I
Hmm.
say you, 99% of the time, I'm referring to the 99%.
Energy. Right.
The 99% you, that's who
Hmm.
I'm talking about. So if your energy does not hold self-love, then you are going to keep giving in a dynamic state. Energy is not static. कि एक बार दिया और ये पत्थर की लकीर. No. As a matter of fact, we come over here, we sit in these sessions only to figure out that energy is so dynamic that even if I had this role given out to people for 400 different lives, I can change it now. Energy is that dynamic. And so when you begin to change your energy, that is the conscious part. Otherwise, your life is only playing out as per the energy you hold. And the energy you hold is giving out the role. The energy you hold is constantly, and when I say giving out the role, it is purely the work of energy, as whatever energy be, that energy attract. That is all there is to it. Whatever is my energy today, that is what I am attracting in the universe. And it might play out today, it might collect today. I might be in a different play today. And let us say I hold a lot of lack of love for the self. It's not necessary that it'll play out all the time, but it will play out enough if it is in my energy pot. It will play out enough. Maybe not 100% of the time, because we are not just a monodimensional being. We have so many different frequencies that we hold, and any different day, we might wake up in a different frequency, and that will begin to play out. But when we become aware, when we become conscious of what am I feeling, that is when we begin to change that very energy itself that is playing out. So what does it mean? I look at the energy today, I change it a lot more, I begin to experience different stuff. Whatever I'm filling in, the new stuff in my consciousness, that will begin to play out. That will begin to play out at some point in time, because even that role will be given. Now, whether it is given to the same people or the new people, we don't know. That is why I say don't pay attention to the mirrors. Each of these actors are your mirrors. You don't pay attention to them. You bring the attention squarely back to yourself. Because whatever role you gave out, you have to collect it right back, rewrite the role, and give it out. So the rewriting is where the important part is. When did I give out the role? How did I give out the role? To whom did I give out the role? To energy, energy, energy. Your energy is extremely, you think that everything is happening because you are assigning things, forget it. Your every experience is happening from the place where your energy is assigning to different actors in your life the way that they can be mirrors to you, the way that they can be mirrors to you. So still in all of this stuff, what is really important to understand is, okay, we were going back to the place of commitment. So you might do everything that you think is the right thing for the right son to do, but and you are committed to being a good son, and that's why commitments are so pointless, because whatever you are committed to, it'll hold you back. It will hold you captive. And whatever that other person is showing to you is not at all as per what you are doing, but what is being held in your energy. So in your energy, if you are holding guilt, that other person can only show you guilt. So you've done 28 things to be a good son. The person will say, yeah, but these 4 things you didn't do, na? So see, you're not a good son. You did all of that, but see, these 4 you didn't do. So, not a good son. Now, what will you sit in? You will sit in more self-judgment and anger and resentment and the finger outside and the blame outside and the judgment, and all because it is a one-sided commitment. It is a one-sided commitment from, oh, this is my word and I need to uphold that word. When you need to uphold anything, please understand that when we get stuck to an idea of who we are, I am committed to this person, I'm committed to this job, I'm committed to this career. Now we start to have expectations from that outside as well. That, okay, if I'm committed, I think I deserve reciprocity. I deserve reciprocity because I'm doing so much in this commitment state. Now I need to get all of that back. But whatever you are doing is action. From where will you get what you are receiving? It is not from your action, it is from your energy field. And so you might do everything that you think is the right thing to do, but why are you still not receiving love? Because in your energy, there is no self-love. Then how that person can show love to you? This love, which is absent, is not reflecting outside. Then they cannot show what what they can't see. What their energy is not able to see is your love for the self. It doesn't exist. And so outside से फिर कैसे मिलेगा? नहीं मिल सकता ना, because outside is not where you are making the play. Outside is where your energy is making the play. There is a full picture that gets to be seen outside. And that outside picture is being created by your energy, not by any of the actions that you take. I have a really, really amazing experience of this in this life itself. So, when we got married, I didn't have any of this energy understanding. And of course, the fingers were very much on the outside. You are this kind of a person, and that is that kind of a person, and all kinds of judgments, not knowing that all of those judgments were all for me and my parts only. But I didn't know, just like you didn't know. So there was this was the time when, me and my mother-in-law, oh my God, we had such a bad relationship. We had such a bad relationship, no matter what I did. No matter what I did to keep her happy, the only things that she would point out was, oh yeah, she did these 40 things, but she didn't do this half thing. So, I mean, how do those 40 things even matter? And it would get me even more and even more resentful. Like, oh my God, like I do so much for her. And how come she can't see? I did this for her husband. I did this for this. I'm doing this for her. And she can't see, and she will not find anything good about it. And this was going on and on. And suddenly, in the middle of all of this journey of mine started. This journey of mine started. So I started to kind of understand that, okay, it's your energy and it's reflecting outside and all. And not so clearly. Today I come and talk to you and all the fingers are pointed within. And even if they go out for a few minutes, they come right back within. But those were not the days. The fingers still had very much a habit of going out and sitting in sob stories and all of that. So I used to sit there. One day something happened, something really big happened. And I was just too hurt, too hurt. Because as I said, we start with those expectations, right? I'm doing so much for you. Then you will obviously look at this and be so thankful for my presence in your life. But no, that doesn't happen because they don't have to be thankful for your presence. They only have one job, mirror. They only have to be a mirror to you. So she was just out there being the mirror. And I was too stunned and too hurt at whatever she had done. So this time the messages had started. So I go and I sit and I start to write these messages. And I'm like, what is this person here to teach me? What is she here to teach me? And the answer came self-love. And I'm like, really? ये कोई तरीका है self-love सिखाने का? मतलब प्यार से नहीं सिखाया जाता self-love. If love is to be taught, then, if you want to teach love to someone, then you have to show them what love is. Bollocks. So we have many, many different kinds of teachers. Some teach with love and the others don't. But both of them, if you look at it, they are bringing you to the same place. How are they going to teach? With love or without love? Even that part, who has handed over to them? It's you only. So I only handed over कि मुझे ना अच्छे से मत सिखाना. Don't teach me with love. The whole world is giving me love. No, no, you teach me without love, so that I get to see all aspects of love and no love. And that is what my energy is out there moving in a direction to come towards fearlessness, to finish its stories on earth. But for finishing the stories on earth itself, the energy automatically moves and keeps bringing you to the next step, to the next step. The energy is, what you think is like, oh, it's the same energy doing the same thing. No, no. The energy itself will bring you to the place of all realizations, even when you are completely resisting, not willing to walk the path. I see so many people who don't want to walk the path, and they keep getting thrown, they keep going thrown at the deep end just because the time has come for them to shift their experiences. So all of this, so I'm sitting over there with bad relationship, and now this time asking, what is this person here to show me? And the answer was self-love, because you still don't understand self-love. You still validate your love for the self through all that you do. Oh, I'm such a good person, I'm such a successful person, I've got a good, I've got a good nature, I've got this, I've got so many friends, I've got a good house. All of these ways that you think of yourself as being good, those are the ways that you are looking at every relationship. And now in those relationships, expectations are set. And somebody over here has come to show me my expectations and to break those expectations. So in that process, when I figured this out, then I started this chant to myself. Oh, I am awesome. I love myself. I am awesome. I love myself. Unconditionally, unconditionally. And then it was funny because she would keep showing me the same. But now that I had understood, I had received guidance saying she is showing me self-love. So now that I understood, every time some more drama break out on the outside, I would continue to do and, like speak back and be the same person or whatever. But as soon as I would realize that the finger has gone outside, I would bring the finger back within and I would start to work on myself. And it was such a cute thing that, she stayed with me for one of those trips when she came, and we were always like, walking on glass and, rather even broken glass, and always not liking what the other person was doing and always criticizing and stuff like that. So, I wasn't criticizing to anyone. I was criticizing to myself only or something. But this is how the relationship on the outside was going. But now every time something like this happened, as soon as I would recognize that the finger is outside and the finger would start to come within, and I would go into a space of gratitude. I would go into a space of gratitude that thank you for showing me this place of mind that I'm still looking for validation, this time from you. I have expectations now because I am committed to this marriage. So now I have to make this work out even with you. So now I have to be nice to you. But when I'm trying to be nice to a person, what is my energy? My energy is not that of niceness. My energy is that of फांसी का फंदा. गले में लगा हुआ है, कुछ जबरदस्ती करना पड़ रहा है. This is the energy of being trapped. This is not the energy of love. And when it's not the energy of love and the energy of trap, then what is the other side going to reflect back at me? Trap. Only the trap. So now I had understood this equation. And so I started to work on myself. And then one time when she came, and this time she stopped triggering me. This time when she would say anything, do anything, whatever, it didn't trigger me. And I was busy doing my work on myself. And she would say something and I'd be like, हाँ ठीक है. हाँ ठीक है, वो उनकी आदत होएगी तो ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. And then now it was no longer triggering me. And she was happy. And I was sitting with her and just simply having dinners. No other thing, nothing. Just simply get together for dinner and have dinner with her. And that's all. Earlier, I used to be doing so much more. But now I didn't have time. I just started these sessions and all of that. Didn't have time. So only time for dinner. She went home that trip, after that trip, and she tells to her daughter, मीनल ने इस बार मेरा इतना ध्यान रखा. And when the daughter called and said, "Oh, mom was really happy with the way you looked after her," and I burst out laughing because I said, "Oh my God, this was actually the first time that I didn't look after her. I simply did what I had to do. I was looking after myself. I was sitting in love. She didn't trigger me at all. She was not even an actor for me at all. And this time, so what went to her? No more resentment, no more anger, no more the trapped feeling, but simply, you are in my space, but you're no longer my actor." And so that expectation, when it broke, then you have to be nice to me. When she would say something that was not nice, it still wouldn't hurt me. The hurt part had been taken over. Why? Because now there was no expectation. So the commitment, when we get into a commitment into something, we are even committed to our workplace. So many people are just committed to the society that they live in. The society should be this and the society should be that. Then each thing they take so personally. When somebody in the society raises their, "Oh, we don't want to do this," or whatever, it becomes very personal. The attack is very personal. Why is it so personal? Because your commitment has led you to a whole set of expectations that you haven't looked at. And who is tied by your expectations? Only you. Nobody else is tied into your expectations. And so, especially to look at the relationships around you. I have relationships now which are working beautifully with everyone. Otherwise, there was a time in my life that I wasn't even talking to my own brother, my own mother. I wasn't talking to them because there was a mismatch. What was a mismatch about? The mismatch was about expectations. I expected that if this is my brother, he needs to behave in a certain way. If this is my mother, then she needs to behave in a certain way. How can they do this? Oh my God, this is appalling. How can this even happen? How can they say this? How can they say that? It is only when I started to work on myself that I realized that the expectations belong to me and are going to keep hurting me. They have nothing to do with them. They are all Shivas in their own space. I am not committing myself to, "Oh, I need to keep this family going." There is no family, there is you, and there are actors all around. The quicker you recognize that, the more peace you will find. But the more peace that you will find within, the more beautiful relationships the outside will become. This is something that I saw with such amazement. All my relationships turn around and become so much love when I release the expectations. And then when I'm releasing the expectations, I'm not even committed to any relationship. I'm not committed. What does it mean? I don't have to do anything for anyone. I don't have to do. Please recognize the words "I don't have to do," because this is what commitment leads you to. "Oh, I am this to this one, so I have to." I have to. Not that I would love to, but no, I have to. They're my children, so I have to do this. This is my husband, so I have to do this. Where is the love in all of this? If the love is not there for the self, the love is not there over there as well. And then this "have to" is big, big weight on your shoulders. And from that, you're only, I am doing so much and I'm not receiving that much back. Expectations. We always bring out the last final thing, the final word on the expectations, don't we? Expectations will lead to hurt. They will lead to hurt because the Shiva over there will show you your hurt frequency when you have so many sets of expectations from them. And over here, even the expectation from the self, I need to, I have to. Even this expectation from the self, you can break. The only thing that you have to do, if if you wish to work within, the only thing that you have to do is to take this finger and to turn it back over here on the self. That would actually give you only one commitment, and that commitment would be to the self. And what would that commitment be? That commitment would be to love your own self unconditionally. Unconditional. I need to do this for me to love myself. I have to do this for me to love myself. No, unconditional, whether I'm able to do this or not, whether I'm able to keep this commitment also or not. I love myself. No matter what is happening in the outside world, no matter what role as I play, role I play as a daughter, a son, a parent, a wife, a spouse, a boyfriend, an extramarital affair boyfriend, girlfriend, doesn't matter. Where all am I sitting with commitment to the outside, releasing all of those commitments and only having that one commitment with yourself, to love yourself unconditionally. One thing that I would want to point out to you, what happens when you love yourself unconditionally? When you love yourself unconditionally, outside you begin to see only as actors, your reflectors. Your reflectors. Now, because you are loving yourself unconditionally, you look at all of them and say, oh my God, what kind of a role have I given them to play? Thank you so much for playing such a role. And what happens then? You begin to transmit that love that you are feeling for yourself, that love begins to transmit to those others as well. That is what happened. That is what happened in the story that I just spoke about my mother-in-law, etc., etc. That story, I give only my stories because in my life, I have seen, all of the shifts, all of the changes, all of the understandings. And then, while everybody can talk about, okay, there was a, you know, Maulana Nasruddin or something. But I know that I have so much to talk about in my own life, and you will understand because we're all leading the same lives. We've all got actors out there that we think we've committed to, and we are doing so much for them. And then maybe, or maybe not, receiving as much back. So to be able to look at that, to say, okay, that is not about them. That is about me not looking at all aspects of me and giving love to myself. And so to be able to give love, but then it starts to transmit. And then other people start to receive love, and you are no longer triggered by them. You're no longer hurt by them. And you will start to feel that love and that joy and that appreciation for their presence as well. That happens automatically when the love to yourself is unconditional. You come to a place of मैं शिव तो वो भी तो शिव और वो शिव तो मैं भी तो शिव. And from a place of equals, every relationship, from a place of equals without expectation, that becomes every relationship. Now, to give a pause and to be able to read some chat stuff. Somebody says, I love your neck piece. And then somebody says, I love your neck piece. Neck piece. It is so pretty that I can't hear what you're saying. That is hilarious. Lovely. Okay. Lack, feeling of missing out. And somebody's asking, Hayati, even after you started healing and teaching others, अरे teaching others तो तुमने खुद ने देख लिया ना, that teaching others is, what am I teaching others? I'm not teaching others. I open my mouth and I'm sitting in the guidance frequency and guidance comes out. Guidance comes out. But why does guidance come out? Because I'm sitting in the guidance frequency. But am I able to look at everything that I'm speaking? And am I able to then take it back into my own life? That would be living the guidance. Guidance comes to everyone. You can be a guide to yours, to 20 people. You can be a guide to some children. You can be a guide to some adult. And then when you sit in that space and they say, oh, I have this problem and that problem, you are sitting over there and guidance will come. Why? Because you're sitting and asking money that money, please be speaking on my behalf. You be the person to speak on my behalf, and guidance will come. So you teaching, it is actually a beautiful question because I find, and it's a thing where many people actually come to a halt right there. Because when they sit in the guidance frequency, or sometimes, guidance will simply come on its own. And then you just open your mouth and guidance comes and it's beautiful and things start to happen for that person. That person will come and say, oh, you said this and this really happened and it's so beautiful. Wow. Whatever you speak is like Amrit. Yeah, yeah. And you sit and you're like, yeah, whatever I speak is Amrit. I'm able to speak like the most amazing thing. I know everything. And when you sit in this place of I know everything, and then you become totally, you know, absorbed. Absorbed is the word. And you become totally absorbed in whatever you can say for the others and the magic you can create. Arey bhai, magic is happening because they listen to the guidance that came through your mouth. And now they are experiencing the magic. It's not because of your presence, it's because of the guidance that came out of your mouth. And guidance can come anytime, sometimes in awareness, many times in unawareness. I think most of the journeys, I'm not so sure, but most of the journeys actually start with guidance. My hand started to write on its own guidance, and I had no idea what it was writing. And it started to write on its own. So guidance is coming, and then one day guidance says, okay, start teaching others. And I have no clue what to teach others. But, I go and stand in front of others, open my mouth, and daga, 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 some guidance starts to come. What does it mean? My journey is over or what? Nana, nowhere close to it. The journey is every day, even after I teach you people. When I get off from here, if any thought crosses my mind, any thought, it crosses my mind once, I'll look at it, let it go. Crosses twice, by the time it crosses thrice, I'm sitting down and saying, okay, what is it here to show me? Let's look at this thought and let's go 2 or 3 levels deeper. That journey is every day. And so looking outside and creating expectations happens every day. And that's why I tell everyone this beautiful, not so pretty sentence, but that the potty is every day. Potty is every day. You have to do because you eat so much during the day that you have to release it. Otherwise, you will start to experience the smells of it if you don't do potty every day. So it'll show its presence, it'll start to smell bad. And that is why your awareness, your looking at yourself is every single day. It has nothing to do with, oh, I was so enlightened and aware yesterday, so that is going to continue. No, no. This is energy. And I just told you, energy is so dynamic. It's not static. What the energy was yesterday, maybe you were sitting in guidance frequency and everything was beautiful. And today you might wake up and you might be tuned into the fear frequency. Now it's your journey to bring yourself from that fear to fearlessness. You might be like fine for 5 days and suddenly you wake up in a lot of anxiety and separation. Okay, so what? It's just a frequency. When you begin to recognize the frequency, that is when you are working with it. That is when you begin to become the guidance, not just because guidance can flow from your mouth. I have like people who give amazing guidances. They're guides in my group, give amazing guidance. शहद निकलता है उनके मुंह से. 6 months later, they will come to me with, ye nahi ho raha, wo nahi ho raha, or I have this problem, I'm not able to find a job, I'm not able to find a partner, I'm not able to, not working on themselves, but giving beautiful guidances. But why? Because guidance is a frequency and they've understood how to tune into that frequency. However, they haven't understood how to stay in that frequency. That staying happens with aware consciousness. Hope whoever was not able to listen to me, hope you're able to manage now. Hope you've moved away from my neck piece, but okay, wonderful. All right. And for something Yayati wrote, lack and feeling of missing out. Well, so what if you're feeling that frequency? You now know what that frequency is all about. Work on yourself. Work on yourself. It's just a frequency. Where's the problem? It's just a frequency. Are you going to die just because you've experienced that frequency for 5 days? No. Death is going to come and death is going to come. In the meanwhile, all of these frequencies are going to be experienced by you. So as you experience every frequency, if you can put your finger on it, if you can see what am I feeling, if you can operate from another place, if you can put your focus someplace else, if you can do one of the 100 tools that we've given out, to so many, through so many webinars and so many assignments and all of that, then do it. Do it. All of these webinars are there on Saturdays. Just pick up a webinar and listen to it. Listen to it. There are like 200, and I don't have so much to say. If by the time you're done with the 5th webinar, you'll be mouthing me कि अच्छा अब ये कहने वाली है, अब ये कहने वाली है. I'm very, very predictable. But I'm predictable because that's the only work within. It's the only amount that we can do. That is to look within. And everyday magic, new magic opens up when you do the same work within. The same work within, to look within and to be able to release, but new magic opens up every single day from that place. How to release pain if you receive pain on daily basis from the same person. How to release pain? Look at the pain. Look at the expectations. I just spoke about the expectation and the hurt frequency. It's all about that only. I think maybe you missed it. Were you attending this webinar? Whoever is right now writing to me, were you attending this webinar? I just spoke about expectations and how expectations were creating so much of hurt in me. If you heard that part, then when I put out this webinar, listen to it again, because that is all there is to it. How to release hurt, how to release pain. Look at the hurt. It's a frequency. Who is creating it? You. From where are you creating it? What is the machinery underneath? Expectations. And so look at your expectations, release. Look at your hurt and release. And look at the other person. They have no compulsion to act as per your expectation. They have all compulsion to act as per your energy. They cannot be nice to you if in your energy there is no love for the self. Nobody can be nice to you. No, but 5 other people. Okay, fine. 5 people can be nice to you, but you would have given that role to them. This role that you've given to one person, that you please be like this to me. Why? Because I need to understand self-love and I need to understand it this way. You've given this role. You've given them the way they should act. You've given them the script. You've given the entire direction. And now you have to edit your script. That's how it works. That's how energy works. You have to edit the script. The finger outside, oh, I'm fine, but they are the one giving me pain. Nah, finger outside, you can complain and vent and do everything. The only thing that will happen is you will increase more of your sadness frequency, because the more you vent, you say, oh, you feel lighter. No, you don't. You simply keep rotating in those same stories again and again and again. In that moment, you might feel lighter, but as soon as you think of the same stories, 1.5 hours later, you will again be feeling the same or more amount of sadness. So sadness is to be released, the hurt is to be released, but the underlying cooking machine where the sadness is getting prepared and the hurt is getting prepared is the expectations. So you would have to look at all the expectations that you have built and to release. To release. If it is that one same person, be thankful that you've only given that role to one person. Would you have liked it if it was the same role from 30 people? Whoever you met, if they had the same role? No, you wouldn't like it. So even over here, be thankful that, okay, my energy has just given one role to one person. And for me to work on myself, I only have to understand from this person. Thankfulness, thankfulness. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, that story that I just talked about, that should give you all the answers. Why? Because I was also just complaining, this person hurts me so much, this person hurts me so much. And then from one, it became two. Two people started to hurt me so much. Thankfully, I started to receive guidance and I understood why this whole hurt piece was happening. And then the hurt is no more. It is so beautiful that so much healing happens from the releasing of expectations. It's your expectations that is at the bottom of this, not that person's, whatever the words that are coming out or actions that are happening. That is not what is hurting you. Your expectation and your hurt frequency is what is hurting you. Okay. All questions done? Are we looking good? All right then. Okay, everybody. Then simply just take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath in and release. Take a deep breath in and release. And now simply focus on the word commitment. Focus on that word, commitment. Commitment, commitment, commitment. In what all places? In what all places do you experience commitment? In what all places do you experience commitment? Where all do you speak words and then you get tied to those words? You're now attached to your own words. You're attached to those commitments. Where all? Names will drop right now as you think on the word commitment. Persons will drop right now. They'll come. They'll drop in as you speak the word commitment. And now, take a deep breath in and tap your forehead. Tap your forehead. I take energy from Meenal. I am Meenal. I take energy from Meenal. I am Meenal. I am Meenal. I am Meenal. And in this space where I am Meenal, I look around and I find everything, everyone, all around me, only Meenal, only Meenal. Everyone around me, only Meenal. Nothing else, no one else exists, only Meenal. Meenal in this body and another body and another body, in one place and another place and another place, only Meenal. No one else exists. The universe is simply playing you and your mirrors all around. And in this moment, in the frequency of Meenal, you can experience it, that there is only you in this universe. And so, who are you committed to? Meenal, 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 Meenal. That's the only commitment that you have. All of those people are only Meenal. And today, as all are Meenal, as everyone around is Meenal, is there any rule that binds you? You have to do this for you, Meenal. You have to do this for that, Meenal. No, everyone is Meenal. And whatever you desire is the perfect place to be, with or without commitment, with or without fear, with or without fear of upsetting someone, with or without fear of being judged by someone, with or without the fear of not being able to look into your own eyes. Why? Because everyone is Meenal and you are Meenal. And Meenal is always looking into Meenal's eyes with so much love. That is the frequency of Meenal. So much love, so much masti, the masti within being shared with you and all the others around you. This word commitment only towards the self, because there is no other. And now simply releasing the word, releasing the weight of the word commitment. I release this word. I release this word commitment from my dictionary. I am free. I am free in every moment. I am free to think joyfully. I am free to experience joyfully. I allow myself to live joyfully. I release this word, my commitment towards anyone. Love will be received by each one because I am love. Things will happen through me for each one because I will be doing so with love. But no longer will I sit under the heaviness of this word, commitment. Releasing this word today, replacing commitment with love. I am love. I am love. I am love. I am love. All that I do is from love. All that I experience is love. I sit today on the word love. This word commitment, whenever it comes to me as a word given, as a promise made, I will be able to look at this word. It will come into my conscious awareness, and I will be able to release this word and replace it with love, with the joyfulness of love. Every profession that I am in, I do what I do with love. Every relationship that I am in, I do what I do with love. Every interaction that I am in, love, only love. Only because the interaction is between me and me. Bringing the finger within fully in this minute. No one else exists. Only me. Only me. Only, only, only me. Say this to yourself. Only me. No one else exists. Only me. And I commit to giving unconditional love to myself, and I become love in this moment. Give yourself a big, big hug. Give yourself this big hug as you feel this unconditional love for the self. And all the mirrors around you, all the mirrors around you simply show you your own face. And so, a big hug to all the mirrors around you. So many kisses to all the mirrors around you. Okay, everyone. Lots and lots of love to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Lovely to be. Bye, everybody. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Mimi.